So we're going to start on the hand painting of Lady of Innsmouth. I thought I'd talk first about what I'm using, since that's kind of important a little bit. These are the paints I use. Most of them are Liquitex. They're good, fairly affordable acrylics, good quality. These are heavy body acrylics, which means that they are quite thick. I tend to use either some acrylic medium or acrylic, where's the camera? There it is. Acrylic glazing medium. So, one of these, or the matte medium. This happens to be the gloss. To thin it a little bit so it's a little softer, a little easier to get fine details with. So we'll use that. We have some Pearlex mica powders. This is the gold that'll be going with the camera so you can see the paint master. There we go. So this is Aztec Gold mica powder, Pearlex, and it's what we'll be using on the fish and her little brooch. So there's that. There's this fluorescent orange ink, and that's going to be used in the eyes. What I did with the eyes is the mix is actually a little bit of white and a little bit of cadmium orange, and then a mix of cadmium red light and this fluorescent orange. And then over all of that, and the iris is, where did it go? There we go. Gold Liquitex. And it just gives a great depth to the eye, having the different layers. Also have, this is the Liquitex Soft Body Iridescent White, which I actually just realized should not be in here. I don't think I'm gonna, yes I do, I use it on the, on here. These little shells. I use it, and then I also go over it with a little bit of acrylic medium mixed with the micro Pearlex powder. Give a little bit of extra sheen. And that's the last color I have in here. And then I have the gray lavender, which goes on the base. Pick out some of the details. Tools, I have obviously paintbrushes, lots of different paintbrushes, palette knife for mixing the colors, toothpicks and cotton swabs. Toothpicks, I use some for really tiny details, like the dots in the eyes, the little white dots, and this is for cleaning up any stray bits of paint. And also a silicone clay shaper, which also works fantastically for paint. They actually sell these in the more flexible, soft, and firm. This happens to be extra firm. Actually has paint shapers. And this is one of the tiniest size zeros that they have. And it's good for little tiny details. Also what I have are a mechanical pencil. That's going to be for sketching in the eye, so I know where to fill in. And then a couple pens. I found when I was doing the eyes before that getting her eyeliner, eyelashes, whatever you want to call it, right around here was extremely difficult, even with my finest paintbrush. But then I realized I have, waterproof brush pens that will work fantastically for that. So that's what I'll be using. Alright, so I think that covers almost everything. Oh, I also use this. This is just a little spray bottle filled with distilled water, and it's about 50-50 distilled water and acrylic retarder medium. This slows drying. And what I do is I spray this on the palette over the acrylic, and it helps keep it wetter longer so it doesn't dry out, because acrylic dries really fast. So I think that's about it for prep. Oh, I did skip a few steps in here, and I'll go over what I skipped. Because honestly, it was just kind of boring, and you didn't need to see it. With the camera. Alright. So what I went in and did is I touched up any areas around edges where it might have been a little fuzzy or a little bit of glass, just cleaned it up. Then I went in and did the base black on the brooch and the base white on the shells. Because honestly, that's just boring stuff that you don't need to see. So, since that's done, we're going to get started. What I'm going to do first is go in and dry brush with white, just with white, nothing else, over the lace detail and the bodice, just to pick out the high points. So, I'm going to go into time-lapse mode and do that. And so you just saw me do all the hand painting, or most of it. I skipped some steps because I figured you guys had gotten all the basics of it. What I skipped and you didn't see is I finished up the bodice, including the gold, and I pearlized her little hair sticks, or tentacle sticks. Alright. So what I'm going to do now is my last step before I go in and do the final clear coating. I'm going to skip the final clear coating because it's a lot of spraying stuff that I don't want to potentially get on the camera because it's hard to, control spray cans. So I'm going to skip that and I'll have some finished pictures of the final ones. As you can see right now, they're pretty close to done. What will be done with the clear coating is the base part here, and the tentacles will get shined up. The base would spray. The whole thing's going to get hit with matte again. This will be glossed. The tentacles will get a light gloss with probably Future 4 floor polish, which is incredibly fantastic stuff. It's even better than, say, the gloss medium. Then I'll go in with the same thing to gloss up the eyes so they're super shiny. They'll probably be 2 or 3 coats of gloss. And then I'll mix a little of the gloss medium with an iridescent mica powder. I think probably interference. I'm thinking interference violet or possibly the duochrome red blue. This is something I didn't do on the Paint Master, but I really want to do for these. Is use it in the gloss when I gloss up the lips. So I'll just use a tiny bit just to give some luminosity to the lips. But what I'm going to do right now is the final detailing with makeup. And you can also do this with chalk pastels. I'm using makeup because I happen to have this big set of 88 colors of eyeshadow. And an extra, this is a highlighting blush that I accidentally bought 2 of, so this is the one that I don't use. And this is nice because it's a very, I'm pretty sure you can see that in the camera, kind of an iridescent color. So first off, we're going to go in with, I'm actually going to move the eyeshadow, or I can reach it a little better. All those brushes out of the way, so I don't need them anymore. Alright. And I'm going to start out with a nice soft pink color. Let's see if I can show it on the camera. There we go. I'm going to be using this, which is a very sort of cool toned purpley pink. So it'll match. Get rid of some broken eyeshadow. This is why I don't use this eyeshadow, is it kind of got broken when I bought it. So I'm just going to get some on my brush. It's nice purpley pink. And just brush it on her cheeks. Really kind of, that looks like a lot, but what I'm going to do is go in with this soft brush. This is actually an eyeshadow brush that I bought sort of for eyeshadow for using mica powders. It works really good for mica powders. Except it's apparently a little bit dirty. So, baby wipe in here and wipe that off because it looks like I got a little bit of gold in that. Come on. There. Just cut all of this out when I edit. Let's clean up. There we go. So that didn't work so well because this apparently needs to be cleaned. So I'll pick a different soft brush. I'll actually just pick a soft paintbrush. There we go. Just use a soft paintbrush instead. So back into the pink. Let's pink to that cheek. Brush off the extra. Alright. Then I'm going to go in with a different brush because I don't want to just mix these brushes because I don't want the colors to... Well, actually that's okay because this is going on the cheek. So I'm going to get some of the iridescent pink highlighter down on the cheek. Just like... And obviously when I go to do this on the rest, it's not going to be facing the camera. I'll be able to move my hand a little better. There. That just gives a nice glowing life to her cheeks. Because the problem with the Lady of Innsmouth as she is that it's a very purple right there. It's a very cool color scheme on the skin with all the blues and greens and very pale shell color. That it is going to have a tendency to look a little less lively. And so I wanted to add the pink just so it gives a little more life to her face. All right. Now I'm going to go in with a different brush. Oops, not that one, because that one's wet. I want a perfectly dry brush. For this I actually want a fairly small... There we go. So now I'm going to go in with, here. Okay, I'm going to go in with this matte blue color, or blue-green color, and just define up by the eyes, which is exactly what it sounds as doing a little bit of eyeshadow on her. And again, this, this isn't going to, show that much, especially not on camera, but it should just be enough that it does make a difference. Now let's put it this one side by side with one that doesn't have the blush, and you can see the difference. It's a subtle thing, but it's just one of those things that just adds just the tiniest bit more life. And I think I want to go a little further with this pink color. This pink highlighting blush. I'm just going to put some right here on her chest. Not much, just enough to warm that skin up. And then maybe a little on the tip of her nose. There. Now again, you can see it does make a difference. It's subtle, but it's a difference. And it's those, tiny little touches that brings a piece to life. Alright. So with that, I'm going to go in and do the other 11 in the morning, because it's getting kind of late at night. It's 10 o'clock. In the morning, I will do all the glossing, and then show you the finished results. It'll also be nice, because in the morning, we'll have more natural light in here. So they'll actually look a bit better. And I hopefully also will not be losing my voice. I'm kind of gravelly tonight. Alright. So, thank you for watching. And we'll be back for you in a couple seconds and for me tomorrow night, or tomorrow morning.